the question as to why he would keep it secret is a very interesting question. There's a lot that could be said. But I think the first thing to say is that this symbolism is designed by Lewis to be enjoyed, not contemplated. And that distinction
Yes.
between enjoyment and contemplation was really crucial for Lewis. By
Yeah.
enjoyment, he meant being immersed in something, looking along it rather than
Yeah.
looking at it. When you contemplate something, you're outside it, inspecting it from a distance, and you're sort of consciously aware of what you're looking at. But if
Hmm.
you're inside an experience or inside, a set of symbols, just as it were, knowing the world through that lens, then you don't, with your contemplative consciousness, look at it. It's not an
Hmm.
object of your vision. It's the medium of your vision. And therefore it's invisible to you. It's like, I'm
Yeah.
looking at you through these glasses and I'm not actually looking at the lenses. I'm looking through the lenses and the lenses enable me to bring you into focus. But
Hmm.
if I was looking at the lens, the whole purpose of these spectacles would be frustrated because, a lens that you can't see through that's, scratched or dirty is not a good pair of glasses.
Mm.
And so likewise with this symbolism, Lewis is using it, as it were, to focus the reader's mind and attention on a certain set of data, you might say.
Mm.
And he can't alert you to that fact without frustrating the very thing he's trying to achieve. So it has to be
Yeah.
kept secret.
Yeah. That's that distinction I is probably the most memorable thing I have from your class. The essay, I think he writes about that, and it's called Meditations on a Toolshed. And I can't tell you how many times I've looked that up, and I've even brought it up in conversations on this
Mm,
podcast because I think there's actually uh, a theological takeaway from that as well, and the difference between contemplating something from the outside theologically, whether it's through systematic theology versus being in the experience, or in my tradition we would word it probably more like being given the experience of baptism or absolution, which is really amazing and I think helpful for people. But it is this literary tool that he uses and is beautiful when you think about the not only the intricacy but the foresight he had and the dedication to keep it hidden for that purpose. Even
mm.
when someone like Tolkien is trashing his work, I think that that's pretty amazing that he would just stay silent about it.
Yeah, but you're quite right. It has a really interesting theological dimension to it, this idea
Hmm.
of enjoyment as opposed to contemplation. Because how is it that we know God? Um, you can, as it were, study God from an
Hmm.
external point of view. You can do religious studies. You can examine the Bible as a historical document, and you can look at all the influences from the period and the ways in which the different books of the Bible correspond to the genres in which the authors were working. Um, that's one way of, as it were, looking at Christianity. But
Yeah.
does that make you a Christian? Not at all.
Yeah.
The Christian life is the life of faith.